Who knows when the first EDM machine was invented? Was it the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, or 1970s? Hey everyone, Ron Gobbel here from KAM Wire for Practical Machinist. In this Learn to Burn episode, we're going to talk about the history of wire EDMs and EDM machines, how the EDMs work. I'm going to give you a tour of one of our wire machines, then I'll show you some samples of some of the parts we've made here. The answer to the question? Two scientists stumbled across the EDM process in the early 1940s in the USSR. They're trying to solve a problem of erosion with tungsten electrical contacts. They weren't able to solve that problem, but they were able to invent an EDM machine at the time. Wire EDMs came around in the 1960s to help with tooling for the tool and die industry. The first commercially available wire EDM machine was produced in the USSR in 1967. In 1974, another EDM machine, CNC this time, was produced using a drawing plotter and optical line follower for the paths. And then in 1976, the first CNC EDM was available on the market. My first foray into EDMs was in the mid-80s, where a shop I worked at in the summertime, we had to feed tape into the machine, and the tape had holes punched into it, and that would tell the coordinates for the tool paths. The next machine they got was connected to a computer and with a disk, so I didn't have to feed tape, but lucky me, I got to clean out the filters, as filters weren't disposable back then, so we had to wash them out all the time and clean the tanks. That was my job I was even below an apprentice at those days. Here's one of our wire machines that I'll give you a tour of. This here is the control panel. This one has a nice big screen. We bought this machine in the early 2020, some 2021. So it has a nicer control on it than our older machines. This is where the magic happens. This is the tank here. You can see the water running in the back there. That's to keep that seal plate in the back lubricated. Without that, it would be dry out and then it would start leaking. So we have our the head here. The top head goes up and down. Then we have the head coming in, both heads come in and out for the Y. And then X, the table moves. So up here we have our spool of wire. The wire gets fed through different rollers here and tensioners to keep it straight and get the loops worked out of it. Then it flows down in through this pipe here. This tube will feed it through the head here, down at the bottom here. And then I'll show you, I'll feed it in a minute. The wire will come through a water jet, get fed automatically down into the bottom here, and then it will go out through the back. Inside each of these heads are diamond guides that will guide the wire and keep it in the right place during the cutting process. All right, let's feed the wire here, see if we can make this thread. So you can see this pipe's gonna go down and it's gonna shoot water through. The water is gonna guide the wire through the bottom head, and then the rollers at the back will pick it up and pull it through all the time. And there you can see how the wire is now sitting there, ready to go. Now I'm gonna hit run here, just so you can see how the wire's running. Now it runs through all those different tensioning wheels. Comes down through the back, out the back into a bin that I'll show you in a minute. Now it's important to note, there's sensors in here that whenever the wire breaks, it's going to let you know and the machine will stop. It will not keep going or keep cutting. As soon as that wire breaks, it'll stop, make a beeping noise, and then you can rethread it and figure out why it broke. Sometimes it's because you're feeding too fast. Other times there's debris in the steel, especially in the hot rolled material. There's air pockets in there or bad steel, and then it will break. All right, let's do a walk around on the outside of the machine. This here is our water tank. So we have a clean side and a dirty side. The clean side obviously feeds fresh water into the tank. The dirty side gets filled gets sent through, and then there's filters over in this area here. You can see here our filter pressure is doing good here, so the filters are still okay. The filters now are disposable, so when that gets too high, we change it and then put new filters in. This here is a chiller that helps keep the water cold. Because of the burning process and the sparks happening, the water will get hot, and then the machine won't cut properly. So every machine has a chiller that'll chill the water. Now what we do here to help with our heating bill in the wintertime is, you can see we have ductwork here. This area here, right there, that's blowing heat out into the shop right now. And in summertime we close that off and we'll vent it outside. All our machines are vented outside and inside, so our heating bill is pretty small in the winter time. The deionized water is controlled by a resin tank, which is there, right at the bottom here. This is where the used wire goes. You can only use the wire once on these machines that we have. It gets pitted, the wire gets pitted after the burn process, and then you can't control the burn as well. There are some wires now that do re-spool the wire. I saw that at the IMTS show. Another thing we do here is we put these filters on the outside of any of the vents that go in to help cool the boards and stuff like that. That way it's just an extra protection to keep the machines clean on the inside, which is important. Another crazy thing about this machine is the door is manual. So you don't want to be half asleep when you open the door and the tank is still full of water. These two nozzles here control the jets, the top and bottom head jets. So right here and down here, there's flushing that comes up from the bottom and comes down from the top. And by controlling that flushing, you get all the particles out from the cutting and the erosion process, and then it cuts faster. Now, these are adjustable because depending on your work pieces and everything else, you'll want to control that flushing. Not enough flushing means the wire will break or you'll cut slower. EDM, wire and sync work on the same principle. So wire, we obviously use a wire. Here at KAM, we use 10 thou and 12 thou wire. You can go down as low as 2 thou. Sometimes we use 6. The sinkers use the same principle, just the electrodes, instead of being a wire, are graphite or copper or something like that. Wire or the electrode carries one part of the current, and the workpiece has the other side of the current. And as the electrode gets close to it, there's a spark that happens between them. And that spark erodes away the material, whatever we're cutting. In our case, it's steel. Anything that conducts electricity can be wire cut or sunk EDM. Now, we have dielectric fluid in the tank. In our case, is deionized water. That's going to flush away the stuff that's in there that's getting burnt. And then, in our case, you could call it chips. It's very microscopic, and that flushes it away. It also keeps the workpiece cool. And then it goes through the filters, it gets filtered out, and then you have clean water coming back into the tank. The wire, in our case, for the wire EDM, it goes out through the bottom, out to the back, and then it ends up going for scrap because you can't reuse it. Here's a sample of some of the things we've done with a combination of CNC machining and wire EDM. These parts are pretty small. They're for the automation industry. That's a regular sized paper clip and thumbtack there. These are made out of steel and stainless steel and aluminum. Some of them are being heat treated and processed different with other processes afterwards. And then here's a typical punch that we would make for a tool and die industry. You can do small stuff all the way up to really big stuff, and the principles are always all the same in the wire EDM process. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Learn to Burn. Next episode, we're going to talk about the all-important maintenance of your machine and how to keep it running tip-top shape. And remember, keep the spools turning and the wires a burning.